ladies and gentlemen, I'm Meadsy69 and welcome back to another video with a Black Friday event tank, or sale tank shall I say. And we're going to look at the T28-HTC. It's a very good tank and it's very underestimated. It's not a lot of people actually like this tank, and to be honest I didn't really like it when I first got it, but it is actually when played right, it's actually a very good tank. It's a very strong, heavily armored American tank destroyer. The speed, I mean, is okay. We're going to look through the stats now. It has 203 frontal hull armor, which is absolutely crazy for a tier 7 tank. 101 on the side, so even the side you're going to get bounces, and the rear has 50mm of armor as well, which is not bad because most tanks at these tier doesn't have 50 pen on the HE. So there's a lot of tanks that even can't, for American, they can't HE you from the rear. There's some tanks obviously that can, but there is a lot of tanks that won't be able to, or that will struggle to pen your rear with HE. Damage per minute is actually really good at 2,454. Reload time is 7.6. The penetration 181 on your AP. APCR is 224 and your HE is 53. So not bad penetration, not bad reload, good DPM. You do 310 alpha on your AP, 260 on your APCR, and 400 on your heat. Aim time 3.5, dispersion 0.362, and it has only 4 degrees of gun depression, so it doesn't have great gun depression, but what it does have is great gun arc. It has 30 degrees to the left and 30 degrees to the right, so it's got really good gun arc on the tank, and it goes 29 kilometers an hour, so the speed is actually really good for a really heavily armored tank. And we're going to have a couple of games now sent in from you guys that really show the strengths of this tank. So the first battle, we are on Canyon, and we're going to watch Crow Albi 971, and he is top tier. There is only 2 tier 7s in this game, which is a perfect matchup for the T28-HTC. As I've said, it's very well armored. You've got the little bubbles on the side of your turret. They are pennable, but because of the big gun arc that you've got, you can easily hide those. Your bottom plate can be penetrated. A lot of tanks will have to use Pramo to penetrate these, to penetrate this. And as you can see, it's quite actually a quick tank for a very well armored. So, unfortunately for him, it's not the perfect start of the game. Most of his team have gone left, and all the enemy have actually gone right. And there's just one little tank there we go, the Cromwell. It doesn't last very long. He decided that he thought he would be better on his own, so a minute gone and they are already a tank down. Now the HTC is definitely not a tank to be out in the open, because the traverse is quite slow, really slow, and if tanks get behind you, then you are screwed. I've seen a lot of bounces from the rear of this, even with just the 50mm armor. I've seen a lot of bounces, and a lot of mediums will struggle to pen you. And if you come across against Comets and anything like that, T23E3s, they are really going to struggle to pen you frontally, and they will try and get behind you. But these are all quick tanks, so you've always got to try and make sure you've got hard cover. Now just look at this gun arc. It's absolutely amazing, and that is what makes the tank really good. You don't have to actually come around the corner. You can hide the little bubbles on your tank just by using that gun arc. So now there is 3 tanks down against 7. The Jackson is a one-shot, so he's gonna just wait for him, and he's gonna try and get that shot on the Hafen. He does get a nice shot, and there goes the Jackson. So it's now 4 against 6, 3 against 6. He's still full hit points, and as I've said, because he's top tier, you can easily carry in this tank. depend if you're up against heavies. I mean, here comes the KV2. The KV2 is not going to be able to do nothing except for splash damage to this tank. Maybe the rear he'll be able to penetrate, and it's not another good tank that you want to come up against. So now he's 1 versus 2 at the moment in this area of the map, and that's against a KV2 and an SU-100Y, 2 dirty guns. So he's just going to focus on the KV2 as he is the strongest target. He has a turret, whereas this SU-100Y doesn't. And I'm just like, okay, he just must be sitting here thinking like, thanks, SU. So at the moment now, it's a 1 versus 4. He's only had that splash damage done from the KV2, and now he's just going to focus the SU-100Y. It's the biggest target, it's the most dangerous target, and he gets a bounce. And as you can see there, he gets a bounce, and that's from the side. So you can get side bounces. I mean, you have over 100 millimeters of armor, and when you're angled, that can become really, really weak, really strong, sorry. And he's just bouncing again there. He bounces from the Jackson, he bounces from the T29, he's bouncing from the Kuro Mori Mini, and he is now going to take away the Jackson to bring it down to a 1 versus 2. Now he knows where the Kuro is. He is going to shoot him, putting him down to a 1 shot, and now he has the T29 coming towards him. So he's just going to back up. He's not got the gun depression, so he wants the T29 to make the move to come up the hill, which is perfect for him. As I've said, you've only got 4 degrees of gun depression. So if he starts pushing this hill now, which you are going to see, he didn't want to push it so early because there was the Kuro at the back there as well. But the Kuro is now not spotted, so he's thinking now he's going to come behind. So he makes the most perfect move. He's just going to push the T29. And as you can see, he's just getting bounce after bounce after bounce. He's on 3 kills, 3.2k damage, and he's already blocked 2,540 damage. And he takes out the T29, leaving just the Kuro left. Now he just needs to hunt the Kuro. The Kuro isn't the quickest of heavy tanks, but it's still a lot quicker, or a bit quicker, than the HTC. It is a 1 shot, so at the moment you'd think that this is game over. They're winning on supremacy points anyway, so it's not too much of an issue if he doesn't kill him. So it's definitely a win. But of course, when you're a 1 versus 4, you don't really want to win through supremacy points. You want to win, you want to take the trophy, you want to get all the kills and the highest damage possible. And stupidly, the Kuro makes a mistake. Instead of just keep going around, he decides to just go there, and he gets the kill. So he only gets a first class for that, which was a shame. I thought that was a bit more work, even though he didn't do too much, but he held his own against 2 heavy tanks, and then he won against 4. So great play there. Thanks for sending me that in. Next up, we have George 111 Mad King George 111, and he's on Lost Temple. Now this game is a truly remarkable game, and if this game doesn't show you how good this tank can be, then I don't think nothing will. So the enemy have 3 medium tanks and a light tank. So the likelihood that they're going to come from the A side, the C side, is highly possible. And as you can see, 2 mediums and a light tank have already been spotted down there. So there's only 2 tanks. There's only 2 tanks on his team at C. So so there's 5 tanks around this area, and so far they've only opened 2 tanks. So these 2 tanks here are really outnumbered. But here comes a Black Prince, and as we know, it's really got really good armor and crazy DPM. So he does need to be careful with the Black Prince, but the Black Prince is not got great pen. So if he's in this position, he's hiding that bottom plate, and the chances of him getting actually penned by that Black Prince is very unlikely. Unless the Black Prince shoots gold and he can shoot the little bubble bits, the Black Prince is not really going to be able to do anything. And he knows that. That is why he's just come around the corner and just like, you know what, screw you, I'm going for someone else. So he can now focus, George can now focus the KV2. I think he should have gone for the KV2 instead of the Tiger P. The Tiger P is more dangerous, but the KV2 was the lowest of hit points. And of course, the KV2 can one-shot quite a few tanks. So it's now 4 against 6. So he needed to take out that KV2. But now he's going to focus on the Tiger P. And obviously, as you can see here, the gun depression really does let this tank down. If this had like 6 degrees of gun depression, I think it would be an absolute monster of a tank. It already is a monster of a tank, but it will be even more of a monster of a tank. Now, his team are now dying. They are dying. He's getting bounces from the shot there. He needs to be careful of that M4 FL10. It is an auto reloader, so he really does need to be careful of him. But as you can see, he's getting bounces as well. He really needs to take out that Black Prince. He has to take out that Black Prince. With the DPM of that tank, he needs to keep his other tank alive. And there goes the Black Prince. And now it's just 4 quick tanks. So this is still losable. Even though it's against 4 quick tanks, tanks that haven't got the greatest pen, they are all quick tanks. And if they get behind him, he is absolutely screwed. But they're just giving him the game here. There goes the T71. There's the Edelweiss, there's the FL10, and there's the Tiger 1. And he's always going for the same target. He's trying to go for the same target. He's not looking at anyone else. He wants to go for the same target. So now the Tiger on his team has done a fantastic job. He's on 4 kills, done a fantastic job. He's only on 1 kill, but he's already on 3.5k damage with 2 tanks left. And he's now going to push one of these tanks he was intending to push. Unfortunately, the Tiger couldn't stay alive. And now it gets a bit tough if the enemy actually used a bit of brain, because it's 2 quick tanks, 1 to his left, 1 to his right. He has to face one of them, and as soon as he starts facing one of them, the other one is going to come up behind and start getting damaged. So he needs to push really, really quickly. He can't wait around. He has to push. He's got no choice but to push. So he's now pushing that FL10 to that BIS. So now they are in the same position. So he can now get into position, get some bounces, and that is exactly what he is doing. So he needs to just focus 1 tank. He has to focus 1 tank. If he starts focusing the 2 tanks, he's going to get himself in all sorts of bother, and he's not going to carry the game home. So now the FL10 is down to a 1-shot. He's just going to push him. He goes for the ram, only does 20 damage, which is a shame. But the FL10 makes the mistake there. He just reverses. It allows George now just to back up and take him out pretty easy. So it's now just George versus this P43, which is a tier 6. So it hasn't got the greatest of pens, and he is going to struggle to penetrate this T28. And as you can see, 4,800 damage so far. He's blocked 1,800 damage, and now he's just going to push him. The BIS is a 1-shot. They are losing on supremacy points, and it's going to take it home. And he makes it look really, really easy. The enemy helped. Obviously, they wasn't the best mediums in the world, but very good game. As I've said, nearly 2,000 blocked damage, and he finishes on 5,300 damage. Of course, he gets the steel wall, high caliber, the lot. So that is the T28-HTC. Very great tank, really, really good tank for 3,250 gold. That is an absolute bargain of a price, and it's definitely worth buying. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I am Meadsy69, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.